Oh boy, can you see me? Okay, let's talk about it. Subconscious programming, limiting beliefs as a result. I've been doing like a lot of inner healing and then just a personal introspection on those areas specifically because as I've been doing just self study and watching great leaders on their content about it, Joe Dispenza, Jim Quick, Oprah Winfrey, all the heavy hitters. Will Smith talks a lot about it. This subconscious programming is something that we all are programmed with from a baby newborn up until like 8 years old or so. And then as we continue through life, we still get programmed, and these subconscious programs are sometimes uh, create blockages in our life as an adult. So some of the different challenges or the areas that we're challenged with, at least for me, I notice the areas that I'm challenged with in my life currently as an adult that I want to improve on, but I seem like it's taking a lot of forceful effort. It's totally the subconscious programming from childhood in my community, my environment, my schooling, the social media I was watching during way back there. All those things condition you to have a certain specific belief system based off what the people around you believed as you were coming up, and it totally alters your perception of your self identity, and it alters the way you see the world. So I've been taking a good reflection on my subconscious programming and just exploring it, being honest with myself, taking a deep look, writing stuff down, creating little notes about things that I've identified in myself, and then trying to trail it back and make sense of it all. So I was watching Jim Quick the other day. He's a great author and motivational speaker, and he was saying how life is the C between B and D. So on the alphabet, life is the choice between birth and death. Life is all about choices. And then I was listening to Joe Dispenza today. He said, with it being a new age where information technology, this digital age is getting, ramping up. He said, ignorance is a choice. And so I thought, well, let me share my quick thoughts on what I've been going through my personal journey, because ignorance is a choice. And I've been very intentional with just spending more time alone to explore my thoughts, my beliefs, just be alone with my thoughts and try to identify what is the truth for me. Like, what is the truth? Are these things that I really believe about my life or who I am or my self-worth or what I need to do specifically in the way I see the world, my worldview, and different people in it? Are these things true, or what is going on? No, it's the subconscious programming. So I had to basically it came down to me unlearning this stuff, and it takes time. I had to be patient. It's frustrating because as much as I would have a new thing I would want to maybe take on, challenge, or just a goal, sometimes I was noticing it was hard for me to get my footing, and it had a lot to do with subconscious programming. And as much as I wanted to consciously make a conscious decision to go ahead and I don't know, start this aerodynamics program at a college. I mean, it could be anything, but something that's kind of out of the box. If you make a conscious decision to do something that's super out of the box and out of your personal comfort zone, at least this is what I've identified. What creates the stagnation, the procrastination, like you're swimming against the tide. This pushback. It's heavily involving this subconscious programming, and subconscious programming, which we all have. It The subconscious programming, when you're coming up, different things that you are told, and that, I mean, often it's unintentionally disempowered. It's a form of disempowerment when you become an adult, because you're not living free. You're living in this fine cookie cutter type of a way. So you might have something you want to explore, like a musical instrument or something, some other specific gift or talent, but it'll have you blocked with going after it because you think, well, majority of society, okay, I need to finish engineering school, and the heck, we're going to be in a piano player for a symphony. It puts blocks on you like that. Subconscious programming also can interfere with your sense of self-worth. What do you think you're deserving of? Basically, subconscious programming creates abundance blockages, or it creates poverty consciousness, but it's underneath the surface, so you don't even know it's there. So if you're going through life and you got all the money in the world, a great career, entrepreneur, but for whatever reason you're impoverished in the emotional love department, well, you got to trail that back to subconscious programming. Maybe generationally you grew up in a family where emotions and love wasn't emotionally, that feminine energy wasn't a big deal, but that money and materialism was everything, or vice versa. You might be a stay-at-home mom or something like that, and really just focus all your energy and attention on what you believe to be important, which is being a homemaker, which is totally cool. And then you get to a point where maybe your spouse or something is ill and had to be in a hospital for a week, and so then you're home and you don't really know how to write a check, or you don't even know where to start to see what bills are coming up this week because it's the new month. And so that's some subconscious programming there that it makes each individual in their own unique way imbalanced, or have these areas where they're like weaker at, where it makes you be codependent on somebody else external to you to do something that I think we all have the capability of doing, you know. So I just wanted to make this video because it's been huge for me, just exploring subconscious programming and the limiting beliefs that it's created for some areas of my life where it's been like some stagnation, or it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle for me climbing over this little hurdle or something like that. It's based off the subconscious programming, this conditioning that we all experience on an individual basis based off of our household. When we're young, up to 7 years old, they say your household, your school, your influences of your peer group as you're coming up, what you watch on TV, what's said in the house. It creates these limiting beliefs that are oftentimes like disempowering, and it has you living in such a tight comfort zone that it's hard to take leaps of faith and do stuff like that. So I just wanted to share that in case this is helpful to somebody else. You know, we have the choice. Joe Dispenza said that life is the, oh, wait, no. Jim Quick said, life is the C between B and D. Life is the choices we make, and we have the ability to unlearn things that we have in our subconscious programming that are disempowering us in some way in our life that we don't even realize is there, because it's created a limiting belief within us that's governing our behaviors. And so the choice is, hey, Joe Dispenza said it. Digital age, I know it's super popular. There's a lot of information to learn, tools and ways to overcome this stuff. But with it being this new era of like heavy digital age, ignorance is a choice. So I just wanted to share and mention this for anyone else who might have some challenges in their life in their own unique way. If you get time, at least what's helped me slowly get over some mental blocks, emotionally, to be able to see the world different and people in it different and have a different view of myself, was exploring these subconscious programming belief systems that I was dealing with that I didn't even know was there. And I mean, subconscious programming also, this is something that goes with every person on the planet, even our ancestors. So just think about that. That's why it's so important for whoever who may see this, who may get something out of this, to make the choice to explore. It's hard to be alone with your thoughts, because it is, sometimes you don't want to face that stuff, but it's so worth it, because specifically it hit me like, wow. So the different more marginalized groups of people in the world, ancestrally, subconscious programming go way back there. I mean, so just think the different marginalized groups of the world who may have dealt with the most trauma, wounding, injustices, Great Depression, whatever it may have been, for different groups of the world, not even necessarily like marginalized, just different specific groups in the world who may have lineage of people who had different challenges specifically. If those challenges aren't explored and healed and worked through and resolved, different traumas that we all experience, even for us, different traumas we experience, experiences from the past that weren't so nice or whatever. If you don't look at it just right, to just learn the lesson about it and then forgive yourself for allowing that to happen, and then forgive whoever was involved with it, and just know that if you would have known better, you would have done better. If you don't look at that just right there, that experience of an unhealed, unresolved issue that you didn't go back to explore so that you can understand it well and learn from it and move forward and release it. If you don't do that, you end up taking on that. And that experience, since it's like left with emotional baggage and a perception, it just creates a whole, it adds on, basically. It creates emotional baggage since you didn't explore it and go back and look at it, right? So you stuff those emotions down. But as you're going through life, if you have children or grandchildren, that experience and those emotions that are not brought back up to the surface and evaluated the right way, that creates a new belief system. So it could be a new belief system that like all men are dogs. And that's all based off of the one experience that you had with somebody way back there, I don't know, 2 years ago, that cheated on you, and then y'all broke up. You just went on with your life and didn't go and relook at that situation, and all you could think of was that you were victimized. It wasn't right. All men are dogs. It creates a new belief system that will eventually get passed on to the younger generations as time goes. So that's why it's important to take this time to do some deep introspection when you get time, so that you can identify this stuff. Can you imagine if that's awful? And I'm happy that it takes some bravery, but it's worth doing. So just consider it, so that we can all just live more happily and free and lighter, without all these ruminating thoughts about the past and regrets and people that you have animosity towards. All those negative emotions like that we're experiencing currently from things that we might have went through in the past, we got to go back and revisit that stuff. Go back and revisit it and just learn a lesson out of it. Like, I know sometimes people behavior be bogus, but what I actually was able to accept as far as my part in the interaction that may not have been so nice was, okay, yeah, that person might have been not so nice towards me, but actually I couldn't control him or her. It was about me. What role did I play in it? And I learned, like, okay, well, I had unhealthy boundaries. I didn't know how to say no. I was a people pleaser. I was an overgiver, to the point to where my cup was empty. I didn't have no energy for myself, and I got an attitude. I didn't know my value. I really didn't even know who I was. So a lot of times when you explore stuff from your past, if you take and be honest with yourself, the role you might have played in it was that, yeah, at that time you might have been functioning from a level of awareness that allowed that stuff to happen because you didn't know any better. So that's saying, if you would have knew better, you would have did better. So you have to forgive yourself, explore it, see your role, your part in it, and then move forward and just don't do it again. Otherwise, if you leave it unresolved and something that just puts darkness over your spirit, your heart, you feel pissed, or you have a new judgment that you built up about that experience and those kind of people from the past, well, that's a subconscious, a new piece of subconscious programming that creates a limiting belief that the behaviors that come out of that situation way back there will be behaviors and thoughts and beliefs that you pass down and condition your children with. So it's worth doing. Okay. Good night. Bye-bye. Share this if this makes sense. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning, so don't judge me if I'm rambling. Bye.